Looking to get your spooky on this Halloween in DC? Check out the Tarot Reading at Smith Public Trust in Brooklyn. The Tarot Reading is an interactive variety show where each act is inspired by a major arcana and is performed for and with a single adventurous and consenting audience member. DCist called it the perfect balance of campy indulgence and genuine creepiness. Admission is a very scary $13 plus a sacrifice. You can find out more at thetarotreading.org. Seriously, don't forget the sacrifice. Otherwise, they won't let you in the door.
Thank you for letting us in.
I was burying bodies out in the desert.
Neighbors claimed they practice witchcraft.
Quiet. Everything will be fine.
Hello. We actually managed to do it together this week. Are you practicing? Are you practicing your pitch?
Yeah, I'm practicing my Mariah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to hold it in. Just trying to hold it all in.
It's been it's gonna be a fun ride today, folks.
You know that moment, and we all feel it when someone asks you how you are. What's that meme where it's like, no, it's the Katy Perry sound clip where it's like they ask you how you are and you say you're fine, but you're not.
Was that
really
Katy
fine.
Perry?
It was Katy Perry. I found that out.
Oh, I only know it from Vine, where
Yeah, it
like
was
everything,
actually-
like some one tiny thing fucks up and everything switches to black and white, and it's like they ask you how you are, and you have to say you're fine, but you're not fine.
Yeah, that was an interview clip from Katy Perry.
Huh, interesting. Well, I hope
that-
you're doing well, babe.
That's the theme for this episode.
For real. We just watched A Star is Born, the new one.
Not okay.
I'm upset. I will say.
I realize that A Star is Born is not necessarily a haunted heart.
Not necessarily on brand.
On
you
brand.
might say.
It's not on brand.
However,
For
let's
for
be
this
honest.
podcast, but we're not even on brand half the fucking time. No, we are always on brand.
I think we are the brand.
We are the brand.
So
we are the brand. We are the talent. We are the trash.
yes,
The trash is
all
talent.
wrapped into one.
The talent is trash.
Yeah. No, that movie was good as hell. It was beautiful. Go watch it. Be prepared to hurt, though. Be prepared to hurt real good.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not trying to hurt, baby, just hit that soundtrack. You know what I mean? No shame in that. But there is some pain there. So that's where we're coming from today.
Coming from a place of pain.
On this comedy podcast for you today.
We're going to take our pain and turn it into comedy for you.
For you.
For you. Our wonderful listeners.
Oh my God. All right. So we're raw. We're in an emotionally raw place.
We're vulnerable right now.
We are vulnerable. And in a way, it's somewhat perfect because today we are going to dive into
some Q&A.
Q&A. Yes. Ask me anything.
So we are doing this episode. It's kind of like it's a special episode for us.
Yes.
For hitting our first Patreon goal, which we hit it a little while back. So we're finally just now able to bring you this wonderful, wonderful moment here where you guys submitted your questions and we're going to answer them.
Yes. So we took we hit our Patreon goal, our first one, a while back, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Love you. I love every single one of you who helped make that happen. We're incredibly grateful to you.
Yes.
We have to start with a thank you for helping us hit that goal. And then we solicited questions from you for a couple weeks. Yeah. And now we're going to fucking answer them. tonight, with you here. It feels good to record at night again, by the way.
Totally. Last one was weird, but we pushed through it. I feel like we delivered some quality content. For
Some
you
quality
guys.
trash for you to have.
But we're back in the darkness.
And it feels safer here.
The darkness of night.
It does feel safer here. In this emotional place that I am in. It is safe in the dark.
Yes.
So, did you want to get started with the first question?
Sure. I think they're all like, why don't y'all just fucking jump into the question?
I'm not here
God damn it. I'm
listening
not
to this
here.
podcast to hear you talk. I don't want to
not
hear you talk
here.
on this podcast.
I'm not here to listen. I'm not here to listen to you talk about stores born. I don't care.
A store is born.
I don't care.
It's a biopic on like Macy's. A store is born. Actually, that's perfect because the Macy's thing has the star as their logo. Spoof, making it now. Produce it.
We'll note that.
We'll
for
get
our
Bradley
Patreon.
Cooper. It'll be fine.
Dear Bradley Cooper.
Dear Lady Gaga.
Dear B. Coop.
Hey, B. Coops, what's good?
Hey, Coops.
We loved your movie, and we have this movie,
Listen,
which
we loved
think
your
you will
movie.
love.
You're hot.
Here's the thing. I promise this episode is not going to be about A Star is Born, but we're just processing here and we're living in the moment with you. Bradley Cooper, I've never been like a Bradley Cooper type of girl. Like, I mean, obviously he's hot, but like he's a little too on the nose for me. You know what I mean? Like he's too almost cookie cutter hot. And so
Well, he wasn't in this.
so he wasn't in my. He's not usually in my wheelhouse of men that I find attractive. If I'm thinking off the top of my head, I have a bunch of fucking weirdos in there. We got Bill Hader, we got Jeff Goldblum, we got a bunch of we got the Skarsgård brother who played fucking it
Yeah.
as it, like in makeup,
Yeah.
would still banging out.
yeah.
But Bradley Cooper in this movie, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I would put my face in his chest hair.
Yeah, I always thought he had really I've never been a huge Bradley Cooper fan myself, but I always thought he had really cute, really beautiful eyes.
Yeah, he does.
Like really just piercing blue eyes, and a nice smile too. But this is just go listen
I like
to
how
Black
he-
Eyes on
Yes.
on iTunes
Girl, that's my
by
new
Bradley Cooper. And you know what? That's kind of where we'll leave it because Black Eyes. That's in theme, on brand.
It
Black
is.
Eyes by Bradley Cooper.
It
Go
is.
listen
If we
to
wouldn't
it.
get sued, we'd play it for you in this episode, but we would get sued.
Listen to it after we go through the Q&A.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll bring you up. Unless you've seen the movie, in which case, I'm sorry.
God damn it, Katie. They're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
What are they doing about?
What are they doing?
Yeah.
They're scratching their eyes out right now.
It's fine. They're here. And this episode is
In this
what it
episode,
is.
we can do whatever the fuck we want.
In every episode, we do whatever the fuck we want. What are you talking about? That's
right.
our guiding principle.
For real. That's we have a rule, and it's listed right above where we podcast, and it says, do whatever the fuck you want today. It is your podcast.
Trash talent. That's
we don't
what it
have
says.
that, but I would like to have that.
Yeah. I have a dear, dear friend of mine, and I think she wouldn't mind me saying this on the podcast, but I have a dear friend who is a writer, and she has a beautiful sign above her area where she works that says, "You are not here to write a masterpiece, you are here to write trash." And I appreciate that sign.
Yeah.
So, that said,
Let's jump into some questions.
let's just dive right the
shall
fuck
we?
into what you want to know about us.
All right, so we're going to start out. I believe, Katie, you set this up so that we are going into some of our Patreon questions first, correct?
One of our Patreon questions first.
One of our Patreon questions first. Okay.
So we solicited questions from everybody in the
You mixed it
Facebook
up.
group and on Instagram. Yeah, and I kind of just tried to mix it up. So we have some Patreon folks in here, and we have some just regular listeners, and we love you guys too. We love you as
Yes,
well.
we do. We really do. All right, so the first one is from Amy S., who is a member of our Stay Spooky squad. And her question is, have either of you had any encounters with the supernatural that scared the ever-loving shit out of you?
I appreciate the usage of the word ever loving.
It's it's on brand for us, for our, is it Southern? It's a little kind of a Southern thing, right?
It is,
On
yes.
brand, Southern.
Amy's my Savannah girl.
Ever-loving.
She knows what's good.
Yeah. Do you want to answer first?
I think you should take this one first because you have a really good.
Well, I have several.
Yeah.
So the answer to that would be yes. I have had some encounters with the supernatural. I've had several, actually. All have taken place into my childhood, and I've kind of went over a little bit of this, not into great detail in some previous episodes, but a lot of my supernatural experiences happen in my childhood, and I am of the belief that I have put up some sort of defense mechanism since then, because I rarely experience them now. So the biggest one that stands out to me is actually, I used to work with my mother at this army like surplus store, and so I would be there with her like during the summer, and the building was like downtown, and it was really, really super old. It used to be a prison like during the Civil War. So it had like a lot of negative energy in it. And so when me and my mother would go into work some mornings, like you would go in, and when you would turn on the lights, you would see like black shadows, and they would dart across the corners of the room. I remember very Shining-esque. I actually had a tricycle.
I would give most anything to see you on a tricycle now.
I had a tricycle. Yes.
That's going to be our next podcast photo shoot. Is Kenny on a fucking trike?
So I was going back and like riding my trike around the aisles, because this was like a warehouse style, so it was huge. And I remember seeing one of those black shadows, like as I was beginning to round the corner. We had those round like dome mirrors, so that you could see if people were stealing or not. And I remember getting up to a corner and seeing a black shape, like right at the end of the aisle, right before I hadn't turned the corner yet, but I remember seeing it there. And then I remember stopping, looking up at it, and then like it looked into the mirror, and then it disappeared.
Is that same mirror that your mama still has?
No, this is like a round, like one of those.
Because I was
dome
thinking
mirrors.
we were talking about that shit.
We were. That's a whole other story, but no, this is something different.
Okay.
And it had like an upstairs to it, and the door would never stay open. Mm-hmm. So like we'd go up there and we would leave it. Open, and it would violently slam shut. I'm not talking just wind blew it and it like shut. I mean, it would violently slam shut.
Do you know anything about like the history of that building?
Well, yeah. So it's downtown with one of the. It's not technically listed as one of the, like prisons, because there's like 9 or so buildings in downtown Danville that are technically labeled as like a historical Civil War jail or
Danville, Virginia, by the way.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Yeah. But it's about as old as them. So I was always told growing up, and there were bars and like on one of the levels of it was like 3rd floor, I believe, that were filled with desks. So it was like jail cells, and they were filled with desks. I was a very curious child. It was a very scary time, because that place was definitely haunted, and there was lots of negative energy, because a couple of, like the owner, eventually, trigger warning, but committed suicide, and a lot of negative things just really happened after that. So, and now it's a 24-hour gym.
Cool. Get swole, bruh.
Yeah.
Getting swole with the ghosties.
Yeah.
It's all good.
The scariest thing that happened to me, though, one time I was riding a tricycle, my trike, and I ran into the back of an old lady's heel.
Ooh.
And she like looked at me with like the devil's eyes. And then I froze immediately.
And then what happened?
I have no, like, I literally have no frame of mind of what happened after that.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
She was an old lady and she was in there shopping. And I remember just riding my
Was she
trike.
real?
I can only assume so. But I ran into her and she just like turned around and like gave me this fucking death stare. And then I don't remember anything after that.
To be honest, if a child hit me with their trike, probably
Same.
same girl.
Same, bro.
Like, I
Same.
probably have done that, to be honest with you. I haven't had any encounters that scared me, really. We've talked about it on the show before that I'm like very, I'm much more open to the whole spiritual, supernatural side of things than Kenny is.
Yeah.
Just in general. And so, but a lot of my experiences are more, they're more frequent, but they're more like feelings or like auras or catching vibes and things like that. The only supernatural experience I've ever had where I saw like full body apparition was a member of my family who passed away, who I was very, 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 very close to. In the morning, actually, that this member of my family passed away, I woke up suddenly and went downstairs and walked into my kitchen. I was at my mother's house because this was many, many years ago. Went downstairs, walked into my kitchen, and this person was standing in the middle of the living room looking out. My mother has these gorgeous glass doors in the back of her house. And this person was standing in the living room looking out these glass doors. And it didn't seem odd to me at all. Just seemed like there was a person there. Until I remembered that he had been sick for a really long time. And that he couldn't be standing in the living room in like clothes, like normal, just regular everyday clothes, because at that point he was very, very sick and bedridden. And the minute that I realized that, he looked at me and disappeared. And it wasn't like shortly after that, probably maybe like 5 or 10 minutes after that, my mom got home and told me, that this person had passed away and, everything that had happened. And we went over, and it turns out that like the time that I woke up, because I looked at the clock, you know how it is when you wake up really suddenly and then you look at the clock immediately and you kind of just like remember what time it is because it's so weird. The time that I had woken up is the exact time that he had passed away. So that wasn't scary to me. If anything, it was somewhat comforting. And that has kind of, helped me through that a lot. This has been years ago now. But so it wasn't scary. It was more comforting. And yeah, that I can't think of a single experience that I've had. I mean, knock on wood, because I'm not trying to have one now. But I can't think of a supernatural experience that I've had that has been scary, because I do kind of catch vibes so easily, and I just don't fuck with stuff that doesn't feel right.
Right.
Period. Like I actively do not. And like, if you're a ghost and you want to live in my house, like that's fucking fine. Like I'm totally about that life. I just don't need to see you or hear you. So you are basically like a child. Like, you know how the old folks used to say children are seen but not heard. I don't want to see you or hear you, baby.
I cannot wait for the moment I become a ghost and haunt the shit out of you.
I will be like, fuck off.
I will do the most annoying shit ever.
Oh my God. No.
Okay. So, do you want to go to the next question?
Yeah. So next question is, thank you, Amy, by the way, for that question. It was very
Yes,
good.
that was an excellent question.
So next question by Anonymous. If you had to be stuck within the universe of one horror movie forever, which one would it be?
Do you want me to answer first?
No.
Since you just answered?
Yeah, you answer. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking too.
See, we're doing this in the moment for
Yeah,
you.
this is
We
in the
want
moment.
true answers.
I didn't try to look at too many of them or think about them because I wanted it to be,
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff, yeah. If you had to be stuck within the
Fucking
universe
terrible
of
decision.
one horror movie
Now I
forever,
can't think of anything.
what one would it be? That depends. Like, am I a victim in this situation, or am I actively, like...
I feel like it's open to you.
Okay. So, in my fantasy horror land, I would live with Pyramid Head in Silent Hill. No. I would not want Silent Hill.
Yeah, that would be just really dirty. I feel like I would go with Halloween. And I feel like I say Halloween for everything, but I truly am in love with Michael Myers. But also, I just love Haddonfield. Like, Haddonfield is cool as shit. And it's
Well,
adorable.
you'd be stuck in an eternal October.
Halloween, yes. Eternal October.
Yeah. That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
say
choice.
that.
I would say
Where the pumpkins are always ripe and round.
I will say Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Because it'll still be Halloween, but it's kind of more, it's still horror, but you get a bunch of different, like there's werewolves in there, there's killers, vampires, like you get a bunch of different stuff, and it's like a culmination of all things Halloween, and you'd be there all the time, and you'd have Sam, who is coolest, who would be...
And adorable.
I feel like would be adorable and cool AF to hang out with. Like, we would go around together and like slice and dice people who did not follow the Halloween rules. Yeah. So that would be my answer. Okay. And Halloween is yours.
Yes. That's
Awesome.
my final answer, Alex.
All right.
That was an old person joke. Did you like that?
Yes.
That was playing to the older folks that listen to the show.
Have either one of you played with a Ouija board? And if so, did anything creepy happen?
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to need you to say Ouija. I'm going to need to insist.
Ouija.
I'm going to need to insist
Ouija.
on Ouija board.
Ouija. Ouija.
Ouija.
Ouija. Ouija
Would you
board.
just say Ouija, Ouija? All right. You love fucking jokes like that. It's just like if you call it Appalachia, we'll throw in Appalachia. You love jokes like that. It's so wholesome.
Ouija.
Ouija, call it Ouija.
Okay. I'm composed.
Great, good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I haven't. The only time that I was in a situation where people wanted to play with a Ouija board, I was at a party and I was maybe like 14, so I was just a young witch. But no, we were at this party and they wanted to, somebody had brought a Ouija board and they wanted to go in a closet and close the door and light a bunch of candles and fuck with that. And like I said, I'm very open to spiritual energy, very open to, parts of our reality that can't be seen, heard, or touched. But I don't fuck with no dumb shit. And you can quote me on that. So I rolled out. I literally left that party. I was 14. I couldn't fucking drive. So I think I just went outside and I was like, no, I ain't messing with it, mama. And then my mom came and got me later. So I partied hard. But no, I just didn't, from a very early age, I was not about fucking around with spirits or any type of shit like that. Have always been very respectful of that. So I never messed with it.
So I collect Ouija
Thank you.
boards.
Thank you.
I have several. I have like a vintage, like the old school, like maybe 80s, 90s Ouija board. I've got And I've got some that are used strictly as like props from like Halloween stores. But even though it's a prop, like I still consider it a Ouija board because it can probably still
Yeah, you could still use it
actively
as
work as
that.
one.
Yeah.
So I've got some that I've purchased like from Halloween stores. I've got my mother got me one year that's like a glow in the dark one. I just
You
love
built
them.
one with
I
a
built
spinning
one
planchet.
one time.
That was cool as shit.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I enjoy their aesthetic. I even also have some spirit dice, and I do enjoy them a lot. But I do not use them because I'm afraid of breaking that wall or boundary or whatever it is I have up that is keeping me away and keeping them quiet and.
Right.
You know, so I don't fool with it. Not because I fear it or because, I don't want to mess with it, but just because I'm just not trying to like I'm good where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't use the term fear because I think that fear is a very power stripping sort of word. So I wouldn't use that word, but I just recognize it
Respect
as
it.
what it is, which is very volatile. It's a very volatile sort of. It comes from that. You can listen to our episode on Ouija boards for more information, but we kind of got into how it stems from this 19th century obsession with spiritualism, and everybody was kind of dabbling in shit, and they didn't really know what they were fooling with, and it was very parlor game type thing. And that to me is not how I approach spirituality. I think it's very personally, I think that the way that the Ouija board is set up is very careless, and it kind of just is like flinging a fucking door open to this whole other realm, and you have no idea of knowing what's coming through.
Yeah,
you have
and
no
even
idea
though-
of being
and-
specific and targeting, and none of that is built in.
Yeah.
And you
they-
can't screen it through a filter or anything.
Yeah,
It's just
because you can
very-
easily be tricked into thinking you're talking to somebody that you're meaning to talk to and you're not.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just am not
Trying to do that.
here for it.
Yeah. All right. Next question from a patron. Our home girl, Christy W.,
Ah,
who is our Stay Spooky Squad member. Her question is, who wins in a fight, Michael or Jason? Girl.
Michael.
Girl, Michael. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Michael.
100%. No shade to anybody who loves the Friday the 13th franchise, but we are 100% Team Michael. Get that ass.
I was conflicted though when I was at the haunted house this past weekend. They had like trivia up, and then they had who would win in a fight, Michael versus Leatherface, and I was so conflicted because Leatherface is like my close second. Like
He's your Freddy for me.
Yes, and I
Because
was
Freddy is my number two. I love me a funny man.
I was so conflicted, and I love a man who can put a face on.
Literally.
Yeah, so
I have to go Michael just because nothing stops him. He's simple.
Mm-hmm.
He's not worried about any of it. He's got his look. He's got his one-piece Dickies fucking work suit, and he's going to do his work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's not going to be stopped.
yeah, I agree.
Leatherface is a little too crazy, I think. He's a little too manic. Whereas Michael is just that, like, fucking plotting.
Well, I know this isn't the question, but I just feel like Leatherface has the body.
the body.
He has the body.
The body.
And also fucking Chainsaw, is a very violent and aggressive
Fuck, you cut
weapon.
Michael Myers' legs off and see if they don't stand their ass back up and start walking towards you.
It might take him another 364 days to get back to you, but he'll get back.
That's kind of like me.
That's the thing with
my
Michael, though.
Halloween hangovers, girl.
But that's the thing with Michael. Michael is always going to play that long con.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah.
you may have one, like,
He's
so,
not going to be there when you have your chainsaw. He's going to be there when you're taking a shit. Because he's coming for you then.
for real. But what I'm saying is that he is going to, Yeah, you may. It's very much like you may win the battle.
But you ain't gonna win that war.
You're not gonna win the war with Michael
Because he's coming.
gonna
He's,
come
he's
back,
circling back on that ass.
back again.
Like Slim Shady.
That was more of an Alyssa Edwards joke, but
Was
okay.
it?
Yes,
Oh, I haven't watched that show.
it was on RuPaul, but okay.
No. I was segueing into everybody should watch Alyssa Edwards' show on Netflix because Alyssa Edwards is great.
All right.
So here's my next one, and this is an anonymous question. This is one of my favorite ones. What's your favorite scary movie? I love it. I love that somebody asked this question. For me, it's definitely, again, Halloween.
Halloween.
The original. Should I say Halloween and you say Halloween too, just to mix it up a little bit?
No, because it's Halloween.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. No discussion.
Nope.
Michael Myers is bae, and that movie's phenomenal.
All right, next question. Also from Anonymous.
Damn, Anonymous be hitting us up, girl. She's asking a lot of questions.
What is your favorite Halloween treat? So I answered this in our Facebook group, and so if you're in our Facebook group, you would know this.
Facebook.com. Search the Haunted Heart Podcast. Closed group. Request to join. We will approve you immediately.
Yes, we will, and that would be the peanut butter kiss.
Yeah.
Which is not popular.
I don't know why, because they're good.
They're just it's a vintage candy. It's old. It's not like Hershey's.
It's not sexy, but it gets the job
Crunch
done.
or like a Twix or all of that stuff. But I love a peanut butter kiss. I think it's so simple. The wrapping is just orange and black. Because it's there for Halloween. And I've always loved it because it's great. It's peanut butter. What is not to love about peanut butter, right? But a close second would actually be, I love the peanut butter kisses. I actually have 3. Peanut butter kisses. I love the caramel, the sour caramel apple suckers that are dipped in a little caramel. And then I also love popcorn balls as well. Those are that's like my 3. So if anybody wants to send me some, you can.
Now, I've never met a candy that I didn't particularly like. But I will say that my favorite for the Halloween season has got to be the Reese's Pumpkins and the Reese's Bats. That's my favorite. For me, when I see those when I see those go up in the grocery store aisle, when I see those go up in the gas station, that's it. I know I have arrived. They're one of the first candies that get put out in the gas station for Halloween. And I know that we are here. It is Halloween. It is time to trick. It's time to treat. It's always time to trick. But that is one, and I think it stems from my mom used to give me those every year, to kick off the Halloween season. And so for me, she still does. It's still very it's just nostalgia for me, I think.
Yeah, and I fully
Plus,
believe
I fucking love
that
peanut butter and chocolate.
I fully believe that they have the perfect peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
They're way better than normal Reese's Cups. The Reese's Cups, rarely will I ever eat a Reese's Cup.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that ridge of chocolate. It fucks
Right.
up the chocolate peanut butter ratio. So when you have the pumpkin or the bat, they are smooth on the edges. So you get one consistent thin layer of chocolate around your peanut butter, and it is a beautiful ratio.
Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's a better ratio than the Christmas tree Reese's.
Yes.
But
definitely.
a close second to the Halloween Reese's would be the Easter Reese's.
Oh, yeah, the eggs.
Yeah,
well,
the eggs are good,
it's
but
a
that's
similar shape.
shape.
It's a similar type of geometric congruity happening there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why I feel the need to have a lot of syllables in this question, but I just do. So, next question is from Whitney Z, who is a minister of the macabre on our Patreon page, and she is lovely. Whitney wants to know, what are the things you love to do when you're not doing the podcast?
Is there something you've always wanted to try? Swinging. No. Come on, Whitney.
Well, I've always been interested in learning how to crochet, and knit.
What if you were being for real? Because, bitch, I can teach you how to crochet.
No, I don't have the patience.
I will tell you what, crocheting,
I've
never
my hobby
learned to
is?
knit.
Making the little like plastic keychain things that we used to make in high school, where you had the 4 layers
Oh
and
my
it
God.
turned into a little like
Yes.
braid of.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
my
beautiful.
hobby. No.
Crocheting is kind of like that, though. Crocheting is very chill. I never learned to knit because it seems very stressful. It seems very intense. There's a lot that's happening. But crocheting it's just calming.
Yeah, I think the answer to the question, truthfully, I really
We don't do anything but this podcast. That's it.
No, I'm being dead ass serious right now. We do the pod, or at least for me. Katie likes to pile a lot of things onto her plate to fill an emotional void, but that's a whole other episode.
I just ignore my problems with to-do lists.
I prefer to not fill my time with things.
That's why you're going to outlive me, man.
To avoid certain things. No. I do the podcast. I do graphics for the podcast. And I do work. I go to work and then come home. I do enjoy food. I like to eat. I do enjoy Halloween. When we are in party season, I can often be found at the Michaels craft store, making things. I do love graphic design. I do graphic design a little bit, like for the podcast and for other things in my spare time. And that's about it.
God, I wish we were more interesting people when we came up with the idea for this Ask Me Anything.
All right, I go skydiving on Wednesdays. I do skydiving on Wednesdays.
Skydiving. Big
Skydiving. I go skydiving on Wednesdays. Thursdays, I, go swim with the sharks.
Okay.
Fridays, I go to TGI Fridays.
Oh my God, you're fucking done.
Saturday.
You're done. No, you're done. In my free time that I have,
What?
That I had.
Who? Where? Bitch, where?
Once upon a time, I did have
Time is
it.
like, what? Where?
Where? Time
Free?
Free time is like,
free?
bitch, I ain't seen you in a minute. No, I enjoy the theater. I enjoy reading quite a lot. I like to read really all kinds of things, but very into Russian history. I studied that in college. And so I read some, like, friends will give me books on the Soviet era and, like, the monarchy, and all kinds of cool Russian shit. Sometimes I study Russian like language. I used to be actually pretty good at it, but I don't have a lot of time to speak it anymore. So haven't done much Russian language stuff lately. One thing I would love to try, because that's part of the question too, something that you've always wanted to try, is I want to, and this is something I'm actually going to try out hopefully soon when I'm done with my MBA program, it's called Lyra. And it's where you may have seen it. It's this big, huge hoop that they suspend from the ceiling, and you dance. It's like hoop dance, but you're suspended in the air.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like aerial silks, but imagine instead of the two silks that you're twirling around on, you have this big hoop, and that's called Lyra. And there's actually a studio nearby us that teaches that I have kind of been in talks with to go basically do classes there to learn that style. Because I was a dancer for 13 years. And so that has been a huge part of my life that in more recent years I really haven't been doing anything with. I haven't like tapped into that in a while. And so I think that would be a really cool way to get back into that.
Yeah, and also with me, like, because I completely forgot this because I've shut it out, but photography love photography. So essentially anything graphic design, film. I would actually, just to answer, going back to answer the question completely, is
Yeah,
I would
50%er.
love to, I would actually love to try my hand at like writing and writing horror. And maybe even producing or like doing something with like short horror films.
That would be really cool. I like that.
Because I get a lot of ideas and things, and I would just my issue is like my attention span.
Yeah.
I'm a very visual person, which is why I can sit down and graphic design the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
But like if it's not super visual, I tend to like stray away sometimes. So
Yeah.
but that would be something that I would want to try and develop more.
Well, cool. You can drive me to my Lyra sessions and write as I twirl around in the sky and try not to fucking fall and break my fucking neck.
And if any generous donor wants to come to the Patreon to help us get a very, a suitable, decent camera for us to film things, that would be great too.
I
If you're
mean,
out there
for real.
listening, if you're out there listening, just saying, throwing it out there. Why not?
Fucking ridiculous.
All right. Is it my turn to read?
I think so.
Yeah. What is the worst Halloween candy?
I mean, here's the thing. You talking to two husky people here.
No, I've got
We were
some.
husky
I'm just
children. We grew up into husky adults. Like, candy in general is usually going to be a good thing, but there certainly are preferred candies and less preferred candies.
All right. So I am not a fan. It is really hard because even I'm thinking of something like most people would say like peppermint or something like that, but I'm like I enjoy a hard candy peppermint
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. I will say some things that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy. I'm not a fan of Milk Duds because they get stuck to your teeth.
Yeah, I
They
hate that.
cement to your teeth.
Yeah, I hate that.
So I'm not a fan of Milk Duds or the what is it? It's like is it the Mary Jane? It's like stick of hard caramel or something. I can't think of it right now, but they're like Mary Jane. It's like a Mary Jane sucker, and I think it's like all caramel, which sounds delicious.
I thought
but
it was called
again-
Mary Jane's.
Yeah, it may be, but both of those tend to get like stuck right to your teeth. and I
You're not
just
talking
can't
about
stand-
milk tails, are you?
No,
Because cowtails are the best.
no, I love cowtails.
Milk tails.
Milk tails.
Milk tails.
No,
Girl.
cowtails are great. But other than that, like I can't really think of anything that I just absolutely would not consume.
I have one. Licorice. Black
but I'm gonna tell you
licorice.
what, I have never in my life ever been given black licorice for Halloween.
I have. It's nasty.
I've never been given it. So I
It
can't
was
answer that.
nasty. It's not good. Yeah, if you give out fucking black licorice, like, fuck you.
I mean,
Official
even, like-
stance, the On Heart
well,
podcast.
an apple, bitch, I'll take it.
Hell yeah, an apple. I love an
A
apple.
toothbrush,
Yes,
hell,
thank
like
you.
yes, I ain't got to pay for
I
my
ain't got
next
to buy
one.
one. Yes, ma'am. Just make sure it has
Some
enough
floss?
bristles on it. I don't want them cheap toothbrushes.
Some floss, got it. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, next question is, which mainstream Halloween movie do you dislike?
Mainstream Halloween movie? Mainstream Halloween movie?
Yeah, mainstream Halloween movie. But I don't
Are
think
we
they're talking
thinking-
about like the Halloween franchise. I think they're talking about like the genre.
The
of
genre?
horror movie. I think. I mean, the mainstream Halloween movies that we don't like are the Rob Zombie movies. We don't really respect his interpretation because Michael doesn't run ever. He doesn't need to run. You run. He pimp walks after you.
Yeah.
But as far as like in general, that's hard.
Damn.
Because even the ones that are terrible, like even bad horror films, I can find something to enjoy.
Okay.
Like I kind of actually have a fetish for horrible horror movies.
All right, I'm going to say something. I'm going to admit something. And I'll probably get some backlash for it.
Ooh, hot take. Hot take with the haunted heart.
As much as I respect this film, and as much as I appreciate its aesthetic and its acting, I would not actively choose to watch this more than once a season, if a season at all. And that would be The Shining.
I can't believe you said that.
I
I
like
can't believe
I
you
said.
said, ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing the end of this podcast. No, here's the thing about The Shining. I love it. I think it's a fucking masterpiece.
It
I think
is.
it's wonderful. I think that Kubrick is a fucking asshole for what he put his actors through in order to get that movie. Specifically Shelley Duvall, like he was a bastard to her. However, I think it's a great movie. I think it's very well done. I think it's beautiful. It is a long sit. And while it has a ton of really great moments, and I love the overall aesthetic, like my favorite thing about it is how like shit just keeps getting rearranged in the background of shots to make you uncomfortable and you don't quite know why.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
Like I love how smart it is, but it is a lot. It's a lot to sit through.
Yeah, so that's my point. It's brilliant. It's masterful. It is a work of art. I am not denying that for anybody that wants to come for me. And I think that it is an icon
Yeah.
in the horror film community.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but respect and reverence for it. Is that a right word?
Yeah.
Reverence?
Yes. Yes.
But I can watch it once and I'm good.
Yeah.
And for me, a Halloween film, like if I'm in here for the Halloween season, I want it to be a little more, I don't know, like I want to be able to watch it multiple times. Like I watch The Shining once and I'm like, I'm good.
I feel like you watch that movie once and you're good for like a couple years. For
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
because it's just a really big sit.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's a great movie. We love it. It's just a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to get so much hate.
Probably so. Fucking isolating
We go back onto our
that clip.
Instagram and
That's
it's
it.
like down 375 followers.
No followers. All right. So next question is from Megan Yu, who is our trash talent aficionado, one of them. And she wants to know, what was a defining moment that you can remember that made you guys who you are today? Damn, girl. You reaching deep.
Oh, shit.
She said, let's get up in these souls.
I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know who the fuck I am.
I know.
Who the fuck am I?
You tell me.
I'm going to let you answer that one first.
No. Okay, here it is. So there's I think that individuals are made up of lots of defining moments. I think that there's lots of things that happen throughout your life. I don't think that it all boils down to one thing. I think for most people, it's several different moments throughout your life that kind of make you into who you become. So one big one for us here on this show is when we met. Cue the beautiful music.
The waves.
Yeah.
The waves.
The waves that take you back in time, the
Yeah.
SpongeBob announcer. A very long time ago.
Some time ago.
Neither one of those voices were that guy.
guy. Met a whore. And the rest
As they say,
was beautiful.
is history. No, for real. I think when we met, it was we met in high school, obviously. Kenny was a weird art kid.
You were a weird drama kid.
Yes. I was a weird trying to figure out whatever the fuck I was kid.
You were a weird drama kid.
Yeah.
Let's just boil it down.
I
to
think
that.
I had settled on that, but there were a lot of phases. There was an Eminem phase. There was a country music phase. It was a lot. Then we landed on goth phase and found theater. So when we met, it was very, like, I would consider that one of the defining moments of my life that made me who I am, because it was kind of just like something clicked into place, and you could kind of feel it where it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, clearly I've known this person forever, and I just met him, so that's cool.
Yeah, and here's a little tea. We met in school, but like we also like our first time ever really interacting with each other creatively was in a show called The Importance of Being Earnest. It was at our spring play. Spring? Yeah, it was in the spring.
Yeah, it was spring.
And so that was
That's
our
the only
first
play we
time.
had, baby. They didn't let us have any more, and we only got to perform it one fucking time because the football team needed money. And we had
dredging up
nothing.
old
But I'm not
shit.
bitter.
No.
I'm not bitter.
But no, that's our first time we were that we ever like got to like that we started interacting
Creating
with each other
together.
like creatively. I believe, who did you play? Lady Bracknell.
Bitch, absolutely.
And I was the Chasuble, the priest.
Yes. Yeah, the pervy priest.
So
But I don't think
yeah.
I don't think we had a single scene together. Now that I'm thinking back on that show, I don't think there was a time when both of us were on stage at the same time, which is weird.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, I would be inclined to agree with you on that sentiment because I don't really think. I think as human beings, like we're always evolving and changing. So we're never like who I am now might not be who I am a year from now.
Right.
Or even tomorrow. Or
Right.
So it's hard to put like a definitive like, oh, this is what made me who I am because I don't really know. Like I may know who I am at this moment, but that's always evolving. That's very fluid and
Yeah.
changing. I think if I had to be tangible about it, I think, or like put it in a more general sense, I think just growing up in general with a single mother and being who, and specifically with my mother, who
Yeah.
was, I see myself turning into my mother more and more each day. So I think a lot of my experiences from my childhood have sort of shaped how I deal with things now. And that might not always be the best, but
No, we both had that experience though, because we both had very strong female figures in our lives, and we both
Yeah.
had the single parent situation where
yours was definitely, I feel like, a nurturing, like very mother, you know what I mean? Like protective mother. My mother was also protective, but my mother was very aggressive.
yeah, I mean my mother was in her own way.
They're both strong. And
Yeah, in
strong,
different ways.
independent
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
But in different ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of your mother in you.
Really? You don't say so.
Yeah. Whether or not you like to admit that, and then I've come to realize there's a lot of my mother in me, which, you know, is what it is. We're getting really deep.
There you
we're
go.
talking about mothers. Sorry. Let's go on to the next question
Yeah,
here.
mothers, and that's what we have
We're
for
getting
you.
into
Can you tell it's off the cuff? 100% real. Nothing but the best for you.
100% real shit here.
They're
for
like,
you
I
today.
really wish that they would just talk about murder more.
Murder. Where's the murder? All right, next question.
Fuck, marry, kill for...
Hey, it was my question.
Yeah, but the word fuck's in it, so I want to say it.
Fuck you. Fuck, marry, kill for horror movie characters.
Okay.
Horror movie characters. Jesus. Okay. I would...
Fuck Pyramid Head. Okay. Kill... Kill Jason. Get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of you. And marry Michael, because you know he's always coming home to you, girl.
Yeah. I would say,
The night he came home is about to be every night.
yeah.
If he's coming home to me, girl.
I would say, fuck David from the Lost Boys.
Yeah, you love me some David.
Fuck him. Obviously, marry Michael. And I would kill. I'd fucking kill Chucky.
Is it weird that for us, like, the hardest one is the kill? Like, we'd be like, oh, I would fuck him and her.
I mean,
and
there's
him.
a lot. I'm looking around. I'm like, there's a lot that. I mean, I'm like, Pyramid Head would fuck. Pinhead would
right?
fuck.
And then Mary, I'm like, oh, okay,
Mary,
him
like,
and
we're
him
loyal.
and her. Aaron from Your Next, fucking Sydney from
Yeah.
Scream. But the kill, I'm like, oh, who do I hate that much?
Yeah, I would kill Chucky.
Would you? You
Yeah,
have a
kill
thing with
Chucky.
Chucky. You,
I'm just not a Chucky fan.
yeah.
That actually would probably be another response to like Halloween-ish movies. I'm not a Chucky fan.
Oh, I love Chucky.
I'm not into Chucky. All right.
I like
now
it.
you can go.
Okay. Well, thank you for the permission.
If you were a part of it, no.
Oh, fuck you. If you were part of a killing team, who would you team up with? Real or fictional?
Fuck. Well, obviously. Well, no, you're answering, or am I answering?
You could go.
I would obviously team up with you. Part of a killing team. Who are we killing, though? That's the
Yeah,
question.
it depends on who we're killing.
Because I might not have you on my team.
Like literally, this is how I know that my mind has been ruined by true crime, because every single like couple that I'm thinking of just murders and maims and sexually assaults children, and I want no part of that. So it's like I have nothing for you.
I would partner with
I'd partner with Dexter.
Dexter,
Fuck yeah,
that's
because I'm
exactly
trying to
what I was
righteously
doing.
murder people.
Dexter, totally. I would totally go for Dexter.
Yeah, I don't. He doesn't do anything for me.
Well, I'm not
in my
talking
nether
sexual.
regions.
What are you talking about?
Well, no,
that
that's
is so
the thing.
random. That wasn't even part of
Look.
the question.
No, that's the thing. Like Dexter is supposed to be Michael C. Hall, I think is who that is, and that could not be the right actor at all. But he's supposed to be like a thing. Like a lot of people found him hot. It didn't do much for me, I have to say. But I would team up with him because I don't want to kill anybody who doesn't fucking deserve it.
Yeah, I would have to say Dexter as well.
Or I would team up with that fake guy from that article that was shared on the podcast group like last week that I shared about that serial killer who was killing only pedophiles. I would team up with that dude. But he's not
Yeah.
real either, so it's fine.
Yeah. Or like I would, if I was going evil, I would just be a part of the Lost Boys vampire killing team.
I mean, were they
I would
really
join
evil
them.
though? They were
I
so
would join
adorable.
them. I would join them. Okay, next question from Megan Yu, who we just talked about, who is our trash talent aficionado.
Doubling down, girl.
Yes. So,
That's all right.
superpower or evil superpower? How about fucking evil superpower that I use however the fuck I want?
No, but what would it be? Like, what would you like? Fucking
Well,
tell.
I think it's probably a two-part question. So it's like, would you rather have a superpower, or would you rather have an evil superpower? And probably, what would that be?
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to get roped into doing a whole bunch of fucking hero shit for the city because your girl ain't got no fucking time for that. So I guess if I have to choose, I would choose evil superpower. But I would only target it at bad people. But I would choose fucking, I want to say evil superpower because it's sexier, but honestly, I just want the ability to fucking teleport myself places. because I'm fucking over having to drive places and take time
She's
to go to
over
places.
trying to get on that broom and ride to
I
places.
am. You guys, it's difficult when you have a long journey. There's very little leg room in my broom, and I just fucking always get a cramp in my ass when I'm riding. My hair gets messed up. There's bugs this time of year.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
You need an ergonomic broom.
I do.
I saw
Truly.
those on the TV the other day.
True. Well, I need to order one.
I don't
Maybe
know
try
if you would
mop or
necessarily
something.
call it an evil superpower, but if I could have some sort of supernatural ability, I feel like it would be the ability to be invisible.
Okay.
If I want. Like, be careful what you wish for. Like, the power to become invisible or visible, switch back and forth.
At your will.
At will. To
So you
become
can control it.
invisible at will.
Ain't trying to have no Midas touch bullshit happening
Right,
where your
and
wish
the
gets
reason-
turned against you.
Exactly. Because, to be honest, like, I would be that sort of gray area super person, or, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't consider myself good, but I wouldn't consider myself evil.
Oh, you'd be a chaotic neutral.
I would use it for my own means. I wouldn't necessarily be bad, but, like, you know, think about it. Like, if I was down on some money and if I wanted to go and, like, be invisible and go pop in, get myself a hot and ready Caesar's pizza, whatever I wanted to, I would.
I like that instead of like stealing money to have money to do things, you just fucking steal a Little Caesar's pizza. That's it. It's fine. I don't need
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and then you could
Sneak
like,
into Bradley Cooper's bathroom.
and then you could spy on people.
Sneak into
Just-
Stephanie Germanotta's bathroom.
I would just spy on people. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be. See, I would be worried like what I would see if I was spying on people invisible.
one
'Cause
thing that I
I
would-
can't. I have no fucking chill because I would immediately become visible and be like, "Bitch, what'd you say about me? I heard you."
What? I'm here, bitch.
See, that's why I can't read minds either because I'd be
No,
like,
I would never want to be able to read minds.
No.
Because I don't want to know.
Well, she looks fat today. Oh. Great. Good. I'm glad.
And that would actually be.
I hope you
from, like-
meant fat with a PH, baby.
And you think she's at work, but no, she's at home. She's visiting her mother, and that's from her mother. But she looks fat
Well,
today.
she looks whole hog today.
All right, wait. You go. It's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the permission. Thank you. I was waiting for you to recognize. If you murdered someone, what would be your weapon of choice?
I like an edged weapon. So I like knives, blades, machetes. I know it's very Jason of me, but I would probably say a machete. Because it's long enough that you can have some distance. But, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I'm going to say some sort of blunt instrument, like a bat or a staff or something.
A
I just
staff.
really want to have my moment, you know? I want to earn it. So I'm going to have to just like beat you to death.
Yeah,
I feel like anything else is cheating. So
that makes sense.
that's what I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
Hopefully those sound bites never come back to fucking bite us in the ass.
All of a sudden, there's a machete murderer in
A
Loudoun
machete
County.
murderer that has also teamed up with like a blunt instrument murderer
Several bodies.
tomorrow morning.
Several bodies were discovered in Loudoun County today. Victims were bludgeoned to death, and the other was hacked to death with what appears to be a machete.
Oh, time to move.
And Katie and I are like, disband the podcast.
That's it. Just quietly, never release
And
anything
that's our
else
show.
ever again.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Next question. God, they're getting deep. Why are some of these people so damn deep? Is this Dr. Phil?
They want to know. They
Is
want to
this
know.
Dr. Phil?
Yes, he asked that question. He's an avid listener of the show.
What's your biggest fear?
probably alienating everyone around me to the point of isolation. Emotional invulnerability, I think, is my biggest fear.
Emotional invulnerability.
Yeah, like the being separated from the ability to connect with people on an emotional level, because I get a lot out of that. And so if I was ever at a point where I couldn't connect emotionally with the people closest to me, like that would be a problem.
Yeah. God, that's hard for me. 'Cause I don't like to get super emotional. So, my biggest fear would be to have everybody in the world or everybody that I know turn on me. And I guess bullying. I guess it would come down to bullying. I've got lots of like weird triggers when it comes to that growing up. So like and it's also kind of like a Leo thing. It's not necessarily critique or criticism, but like I get really defensive when I feel like when I'm being attacked. So I guess being like at the center of like an attack. So like you would have everybody, like I envision myself in the middle of this huge fucking room, and then you just have everybody and they're all like pointing and laughing. And I don't know what they're laughing at, but they're pointing at me and I don't know what it is. So it's like I don't know what to fix.
Right.
You're just laughing at me and there's nothing that I can do to fix it.
Don't fix nothing, baby. Just flip them off. That's how I live my life.
Because it's like, it's weird because that comes like growing up, like getting like on the bus and you'd have people that would just like
Heckle
snicker
you. Hecklers.
and
yeah.
laugh as I was coming in.
Yeah.
And I wish I was the person I am now
Could go back in time.
could go back in time and like
Don't we all,
like
man? Don't we all wish that?
fat little me would be walking by and then would take
Husky.
that in husky me, and then those kids would be laughing, and then now me comes in unknowingly to like unbeknownst to small me and comes in and is just like, listen here, you little fucking piece of shit. This is the best years of your life right now, because after today, that's it. You've peaked. You're done. What you're going to do is you're going to maybe not graduate. You're going to get a girl pregnant. And then that's going to be your life. You're going to go bald.
You're going to go
nothing.
bald.
And I'm going to sit here, and you see that fat fuck right there that you just picked on? He's going to grow up to be
Me.
slightly less chubbier.
And bully you.
And he's going to have a beautiful head of hair.
It's true.
A beautiful head of hair.
It's true. You do have
Full
a lovely mane.
and thick, and you are going to have nothing. Nothing but regret and the sight of my face here telling you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you
Till
don't
the
have
day you
issues
die.
around bullying. It's not at all. Not at all. Totally well adjusted.
Nope.
It's fine.
No. Yeah.
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 Okay. So Katie L is keeping things a little lighter. Appreciate you, girl. She's a member of our Stay Spooky Squad, and she wants to know what each of our favorite episodes to research have been.
And what's the best part about podcasting?
Well, that's the second question, you fuck. I was going to end on that one, but I guess not. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, so what are our favorite episodes to research first?
God, I don't know. That's hard because they've all been super fun to research.
They're also all different. Like that's always fun because we're always kind of coming to, I mean, obviously we have the research and knowledge that we just generally carry around in our brains all the time, like a curse, if you will. But each episode kind of takes it into a different, like narrowly focus it, not necessarily narrowly, but specializes in a different topic that maybe we haven't specifically thought about in those terms.
Yeah, I think probably my favorite episode to research for was probably our second episode on like sleep paralysis and night terrors.
Yeah.
Terror in the night. Just because of the personal experience that I had with that, which made it so real for me. And I guess I just connect to that episode.
Well, speaking of connecting to things, one of my favorite episodes to research, and it's going to be really fucking horrifying. I actually I won't say enjoyed, but researching the materials that I did for Corpse Birth, when I talked about that on episode 27, our birthday episode, that was very interesting to me because I honestly, until a listener posted that in a Facebook group, I had no idea that was the thing. Makes sense now that I've researched it.
Yeah.
But it was just, it's very rare, like I said, that I'm able to like find a case or a topic or whatever that I can come to totally fresh. So that was kind of refreshing to me to have no idea that this thing existed and be able to approach it from that perspective, as opposed to kind of already knowing half the story and then like figuring out details, and that, which is usually more the case, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun for me. I mean, it wasn't fun.
I mean,
It was absolutely disgusting, but
listen, it's
I had
fun.
fun.
It's fun.
You know, I did.
It's fun. I have fun.
Yeah.
All right. So then the next part of the question, and what's the best part about podcasting? So for me, a little tea here for you. I had never listened to a podcast a day in my life. Not a minute.
Very
of it.
qualified.
Not a minute, not a single minute had I listened to anything. Prior to starting this, my own podcast, that was very much a Katie thing. So I had never really thought much about it. I kind of thought like podcasting, like, oh, podcasting's a thing. Katie and I knew that we wanted to sort of connect and do something creatively, and we had toyed around with a couple of different ideas and things and whatnot. And like I had maybe mentioned YouTube, but then I'm like, no, because then we ain't cute. And then you get to be done up and like our schedules and all that stuff. So
Then we started making videos for Patreon. God
Yeah,
damn
that.
it. No. We love you guys.
right. So it really wasn't something that I had naturally gravitated towards. It took some pushing on Katie's end from me.
And I can push.
But what I have discovered and what I love the most about podcasting is, besides the fact that it's our show and we create our topics together and they can be whatever we want, there's a creative freedom that I really appreciate. And it's also great for our mental health, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it's an outlet for both of us.
To get all these fucking crazy, horrifying terrors out of our mind and into your ears.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd just be carrying them around
Yeah.
in our brains, making our speech slurred.
Yeah, so I guess that's my favorite part. My favorite part is that it's an outlet and that I can take the spooky, creepy, crazy shit that I was researching like prior.
Anyway, yeah.
Like I would research fucking night terror demons just randomly, just because.
On
And
Pinterest,
so-
your night terror demons board.
Right. And so it just sort of, it allows me to bring it together and to share it with other people and to connect with so many people.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like all of these people that I never thought would fucking listen to us are listening to us, and they've become like a really close-knit family.
Okay, so now you're answering the question for me, though. Like, you've said your answer, and now you're getting into mine, which is you guys. My favorite part of this is you guys. My favorite part of all of this is interacting with listeners. And even with our Patreon family too, that's just like an added level of closeness. And I love it. I love I know I harp on the Facebook group a lot, but prior to that, I had been off of Facebook for like over a year. I think I was going on 2 years without Facebook, and I loved my life because Facebook is fucking terrible. But I had never used groups, and until Kenny and I decided to start our podcast group, and I love hearing from you guys on there and talking to you and having conversations about things and like reblogging articles to each other and all that stuff. And everybody on Instagram and Twitter and really everybody that we interact with, it makes my day when people send us a message and say, hey, I'm listening to this episode and like I had this experience with this, or hey, I'm listening to this episode and this story was really cool, or I'm binging now, and people will post things on Instagram stories and they'll tag us of them like listening to the podcast, and that just like that literally makes my day.
Yeah.
When people do that, because it's like I feel so connected to people by talking about topics that I don't get to talk about at fucking work. Like nobody wants to hear a detailed explanation of corpse birth at work, but you guys do.
Yeah.
And that's awesome to me. So it really, for me, it comes down to you guys. And I know Kenny feels the same too.
Yeah.
So
It's like we're all weirdos, and I love it.
yeah.
It's like a family. It's like a weirdo family, and I'm a very loyal person. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very loyalty is a huge part of what makes me, and so I'm not particularly connected to a lot of my own personal family. So it's like I just appreciate this feeling of being like a loyal, tight knit, like I got you. We're all weirdos. We're in this together type family.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Fuck the normies.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that is I think we made it through all of our questions. Thank you guys so much for sending questions in. I totally thought that we were going to have to fucking make up our own questions and just be like, ask each other
Make
fucking
up
questions.
which I
But
did
literally,
too.
none. Yeah, I definitely was like, we're going to have to write our own fucking questions and just pawn them off. But none of those questions are fake questions. They all came from real human beings who listen to the show. I promise you. I would fucking tell you if I made my own questions. I'll be like, these are the things I want to know about myself.
I have a question
What's your question?
for you.
Okay. What is it? I do.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
My favorite pizza topping, you bitch. So we just had pizza delivered earlier, and we edited that part out. But it's sitting over there smelling good in the corner, and I want me a slice of it, so Kenny's fucking with me. We always have pineapple and black olives on our pizzas.
And
We call it the Haunted Heart Special. And do not think that I haven't asked the Domino's man to cut it in a heart for me. Because I have.
and
they've
pineapples
never done
go
that
on
for me.
pizza? For fucking sure.
For fucking absolutely sure. Hot take with the Haunted Heart. Pineapples on pizza. We're about it. No, but we should probably wrap this shit up because I feel like we've been recording for a long ass time. And I hope that you're still here with us listening, learning about us. I hope it was interesting for you. I hope you learned something that you didn't know. And we will be back with your regularly scheduled programming next week.
Yes.
Thank you so much for helping us hit our funding goal. You guys are awesome. We can't wait to keep creating stuff for you guys. And we are going to have a bunch of very spooky shit happening this October. Speaking of spooky shit, you should get on over to our website and check out our new merch line for October. It is the Stay Spooky collection. We have a t-shirt that is custom designed by Kenny. It's Stay Spooky shirt. It's got a bunch of cool
The logos
spooky
and designs on it.
shit on it. So definitely pick that up. It's black and it has like orange on it, so it's very festive for the season. We have a Stay Spooky lip scrub, which we collaborated with Hello Gorgeous on Instagram to create, and it is toasted marshmallow flavor, and it is good as fuck. It tastes delicious, and it also works on your lips. I'm probably going to use some after this because she's feeling a little dry.
She flaky.
And then thirdly, we have a pen that is available for pre-order. Those should be available soon. We should get those shipped out to you guys by the end of the month. And fingers crossed. But it's available for pre-order, and it's our Stay Spooky pen. It's our first enamel pen that we've ever done, and we are super excited about it.
I am so fucking excited for this enamel
Yes.
pen. Like, it is, we have created something tangible, and
Yeah.
it is like there, and it is brilliant and beautiful.
Yes.
And I think it is gothy and Halloween and spooky
It's
as
super
fuck.
goth. Yes.
And I just want to get it and wear it always as like a little badge, a Stay Spooky badge of honor right there.
Absolutely.
On my heart.
Yes. So you got to get your Stay Spooky uniform. You can go to thehauntedheart.com and click on the merch link to view all of our merch, and you can order directly from our store there. Also, we have a Facebook group, which we have mentioned about 18 billion times in this episode. Facebook.com, search the Haunted Heart Podcast. You can join our group. Now, if you search the Haunted Heart Podcast, though, our page will come up on Facebook, and we recently created that. If you will go give us a like, that would be much appreciated. On Instagram, we are at the Haunted Heart Podcast. On Twitter, we are at the Haunted Heart. And we are always available via email at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com. And I think that covers everything,
I think
right?
it does. I think you got it all.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to go eat some fucking pizza.
I'm going to go eat some pizza too.
And until next time,
stay spooky.